Welcome to the Cappers Contest show right here on Pub Sports Radio. We're coming off another winning week. We've been putting together winning weeks. All of a sudden, we have a pretty good record. Good enough where if we got hot, we could get paid. It's possible. It is possible. 27 wins, 21 losses, and 2 pushes. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Jose Bouquet, my co-host and the leader of our Cappers Contest. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Obviously, a little bit of stress, a little bit of worries, since we have all these games to cap, or I should say, you have all these games to cap, and then we bounce right into the Cappers Contest show. Shout out to everyone that bounced right in with us as well. We love and appreciate you guys the most, rolling from one show to the other. And we're live right now, so thank you guys as always. And yes, I am still in the lead in the Cappers Contest. Who would have thought? I would have given myself plus 1,600 odds to have the lead at any point in that Cappers Contest. So having the lead this far into it and for these many weeks consecutively is a shock. So shout out to myself.
It is very impressive. We should pull up that on another channel and show everybody how well you are doing. Apologies for us starting late. That was my fault. The betting with the bag went late today, and my sincere apologies.
Rebenga edition
was the Rebenga edition of this show today, but I'm pumped up and I'm excited about this show. Jose, I'm coming off just a pitiful performance and I'm falling apart here, but we aren't as a group and you aren't in the Cappers Contest. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, so 32, 15, and 3 in the Cappers Contest for myself. And I give all credit and full credit to the shows on Pub Sports Radio. Even if Jimmy has gone into the tank, I still listen to his analysis and I still use it for my picks, obviously. No capping on my own. So shout out to you, Jimmy, for helping me. Drug Monkey RX. Can feel him right here, just trying to touch the back of my neck, just trying to keep up there. Still 2 games back. My goal every week now, 3-2 or match Drug Monkey. So shout out to him. By the way, Billy asking a good question. Where would that put me in the circuit contest, in the real life? In that one, and the real big multi-million-dollar contest there. So Jimmy, maybe if you can look up what place we're in, let's see where I could go there as well. Slam Declosterable as well, top 3. The man that complains the most but does the best, DG, 28, 19, and 3. I see DG still rolling around. Peter in striking distance. Big Show picks. By the way, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, but Big Show picks just put up back-to-back 5-0 weeks. A little 10-0 stretch for Big Show.
That's
now
fast.
Bounced up all the way up, and now he's 28 points, 27, 20, and 3. Look at his picks right there. A lot of people for this week went 3-2, but shout out to Dim Scoops, Big Show, and Slam, all going 4-1 or 5-0 there. A lot of 3-2s. I went 3-2. DG went 3-2, and we did lose Mr. Vape as well this week in the survivor pool. He took the Vegas Raiders against the Colts and lost. So now it's down to 2, Uncle Jay and Rabbit Den. And I was going to say, JM asked about the split. I don't know who Rabbit Den is. And I don't have the emails, obviously, since I don't have access to that stuff. So Rabbit Den, if you're around, I'd love for you to pop in the chat right now if you're around.
We know who Rabbit Den is.
Who is it?
I can't remember, but when you hear his name, you're like, oh my God, it's like, it's one of our guys. Like, yes, because Jonathan Yim has offered
the 1K split.
Yeah, I can email him. I believe I can email him. So that's what I will do. Troy Torrance, by the way, has a reverse line movement on the total money on the under, but line going up. Do you have any metrics to quantify the significance of that movement? When you use words like that, I can't fulfill it, but I can tell you what it means to me. What it means to me when we see all of that money on the under and the market moving up, it means the books are saying, oh, you like the under? Come here. We'll give you the under. We'll give it to an even better price because we want your money and we know you're going to lose, and I am on the over.
By the way, speaking of the books, but I don't know if you saw this, and this is just not even on the topic, but there's an article today that sports books were basically saying, like, we don't want professional gamblers, people that try to make a living, all this. This is all for entertainment, et cetera, et cetera. Jim, if you saw the quotes, it would fire you the fuck up. So I'll send you the article. We'll talk about it soon. But the books are indeed trying to get us to lose, and we want to beat their fucking asses.
Yeah, and see, for me, I have a face to the book, right? I've had a local for 15 years, and
Fucking Gary.
it hasn't been 15 years of glory. But this year, watching his life fall apart, it didn't feel as good as I thought it would. But I don't know where that came from, but it didn't feel as good as I thought it would. But yes, we want to beat them as badly as possible.
Well,
And
if you want to know something from my side, Jim, my former bookie, I don't use a local anymore, but my former bookie opened up a chicken food truck. There we go. Chicken food truck. So I can't relate. I cannot relate to that aspect.
sounds like he was succeeding. It is great to see you guys all here. We are now 27, 21, and 2. That's a pretty good record. It's a pretty good record. And if we could get hot like Big Show picks, there's no reason. There's no reason why we can't get in the cash. God, that would be so exciting. And we put ourselves in a situation where we can succeed. And that's all you ask for in life, to be in a position where you can succeed. Remember, there's nothing more dangerous than a gambler with hope. That's what we have right now. Shout out to everybody joining us. NJ Striker, Brooklyn Funk Project, my man Pete, Nuke Worker, the Charillo. Am I pronouncing that right?
Huh?
Gerald Jones, LG, Billy Friedrich, Mark Tequila, Troy Torrance, Bo Jackson, Jonathan Yim, Alex Hills, Sharpie. There's Big Show right now.
10-0, Mr. 10-0.
Mr. 10-0. That's what we got to change his name to. Okay. So.
By the way, Jimmy, what place would I be in?
I don't know. I didn't pull up the place. Too tough. Too tough right now. Too tough. Okay. So let me say this one thing before we get rolling. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. You need to tell us this.
Let's stay focused.
You need to stop worrying as well, Jimmy. Stop worrying about our picks. We're doing a great job. Loud noises.
I'm very concerned about our picks, and I will continue to be that way. I'm going to continue to be that way. But let's stay focused here. We're going to vote on winners. Let's find those winners, work together, and defeat the Jews. And who knows? Pub Sports Radio would get a lot of glory if we could get into the cash. And it's up to you to take us home, baby. Take us home. Let's go home. We want to go home. Are you ready to rock, Jose?
I am.
Okay. I'm going to pull up the lines so I have them as well. I'm very interested to see what Circa did with this first line.
And I this first line might be a play for me on my Cappers contest. So I need to figure my shit out about this. I'll tell you this, Jimmy. I like the Green Bay Packers. And you know what? Hands up. They got me, I guess. I think they figured it out. I think they figured it out. I think they're going to beat the Titans today. And I think that Tannehill, Malik Willis, fucking I don't care who. They need a quarterback, and it's going to be interesting to see how it rolls. Obviously, Derrick Henry's very good, but I like the Packs today -3.5 personally.
I will not take the Packers -3.5. I bet them at -3. So I was hoping that they would give us a 3. They have not. So I will not be using them in the contest. This opened up with the Packers at -1.5 at Pinnacle. -1.5. This line came out at 7:19 p.m. on Sunday night at 1.5. I got in Tuesday night -3 at -120. It's now -3.5. Let's go over to the cash flow. Please be good to me, cash flow. It's not really helpful. 44% of the tickets on Green Bay and 53% of the cash. Can you call Tennessee a public dog with 56% of the cash? Probably not, but we know what happens to public dogs. they lose. So let's take a quick breakdown of the injuries tonight because there's a bunch of them. So Titans have won 6 of 7. They're rolling. They're playing very good football, but they are beaten up. I thought that it would rear its ugly head against the Broncos after that very difficult game against the Chiefs. It didn't. But this is who we have hurt. Their center, Ben Jones, concussed. These are starters. Their safety, Amani Hooker, shoulder out. Their kicker, Randy Bullock, they have signed.
Fat Randy?
No. Randy is out, but they signed Josh Lambo, who's not going to help.
Probably an upgrade.
Bud Dupree, out. Their backup safety, Lonnie Johnson, out. Then Jeffrey Simmons, who's such a big piece, ankle injury, questionable. Elijah Molden, their nickel cornerback, groin, out. So the Packers have no Devondre Campbell, no Romeo Doubs. Bakhtiari, Elgin Jenkins are questionable. I think this hook is a big, big deal. I think this hook really makes it tough. Sharpie says, I want the points in this spot. Primetime dogs been hitting at a crazy rate Monday and Thursday. Titans have a top 10 D. Give me the better D with the points. Look, at plus 3.5, I can understand why somebody would want to be on Tennessee. And Tennessee just continues to stand up for themselves. Why are you thinking of using the Packers, Jose?
Jimmy, while I say this, we should talk about the weather as well, because apparently it's supposed to be super windy. I don't know.
It's not. The wind has come down. There are some gusts, but the wind is now 9 miles per hour. I'll take a look right now. But as of this morning, the weather had been nicer.
Fair enough. So Jeffrey Simmons, obviously a big piece of the Titans defense. If he plays, I think he'll play too. I think he's kind of a badass, so I think he'll play. But you know what's funny? When I imagine the Packers playing their best, it's always in this just freezing, shitty weather. They just figure it out. And kind of felt like that last one was a little bit galvanizing. You know, obviously fucking a little bit of yelling back and forth between Rodgers and LaFleur, you know, between play calling. But it seemed like they just kind of figured out what to do. Just hand the ball off and throw the ball deep to Christian Watson, who, I don't know, is it Dory Jackson still a Titan? I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure. Who's going to guard Christian Watson? I think he's a good player. And you know, truthfully, I just took $100 of my free agency money in fantasy football, and I bet it all on fucking Watson. I'm starting him this week. I think he's going to have a nice game. Lazard also back. It just seems like the Packers have just kind of figured it out. Now, obviously, you give the coaching advantage to Vrabel. Vrabel is a great coach. And King Henry's a little scary, and hopefully the Packers can figure that aspect out. But if they stop the run, it's over. It's all over. So I think the Packers will be smart enough to realize, stop Derrick Henry, make Ryan Tannehill and fucking Treylon Burks and Robert Woods. Bobby Trees has been washed up for a little bit now. So Packers.
Yeah, I think that half point's a problem. I'm not going to use it in my contest. I don't want the 3.5.
It might be in ours, Jimmy, because after 4 minutes, 83% on the Tennessee Titans.
Wow. It wouldn't have mattered if I had a vote of Green Bay, but I think that hook is a problem. I think that hook is a problem. Wow, I am shocked at 83%. But look, you guys as a group, or I should say us as a group, is better than me alone. So I will trust you guys. And it looks like that's going to be on our card, a Thursday nighter.
It's going to be a fun time. We got to get these picks in quickly then.
All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, Chicago Bears, Atlanta Falcons. Bears sitting at +3 in this one. And it's shocking that they're at +3 because they're getting a ton of cash bet on them. Let's take a look. And there's a 3.5 on the board. Wow. Did I see that right? So the Falcons got up to -3 at -118. Got up to -120 on Monday. Excuse me, on Sunday night. No, that was Monday. And then on Tuesday, they got to -120 and it's come back a little bit. That's wild. It's so wild because there's so much cash on the Bears. Is there still that much cash on the Bears? Yes. 79% of the tickets and 86% of the cash on the dog, the very public dog. Also, everybody thinking that the over is free money when the Bears are playing. 60% of the tickets on the over, but just 51% of cash. And I know that's not important, but it is important for us as gamblers. That's wild.
I would also say an over game script helps the Bears, and obviously an under game script helps the Falcons.
Well, I was saying that I think Arthur Smith is a good coach, and I didn't think that last year. But I've been impressed with what he's done with what he has. And this is not an easy team to win with, and I know. I guess they're 4-6, but I mean, look what they've done against the spread.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot better than the way it was expected of them to. I've been a big Falcons guy all year. It's been great.
The Bears' last 3 games have an average point total of 68.67 points. Everybody in the public is seeing that. Everybody in the public is betting them. And the market is moving towards the Falcons. I mean, anybody, it's got to stop you right in your tracks, doesn't it? Have to.
Let's be honest. Both these teams are not going to throw the football. The clock's going to be running this whole damn game, and that's why I think this game could stay under. It's just going to be run after run from both of these squads. I was going to say both of these quarterbacks aren't the best, but I love Justin Fields now. He's the most exciting quarterback to watch in all of football right now. Maybe he can't throw the football, and maybe that last drive against the Lions when they were like, you know what, let's just not rush anyone. Let's rush 3 dudes. Let's just sit back and let's see what Justin Fields can do in the pocket. That was a little concerning, yes, but I still think he's electric. I still think he's going to run the football for a lot of yards here. I just think this is going to be play this game with a running clock. So what's going to happen? We're going to run the football the whole time.
In saying all that, I certainly, there's no chance that I would ever bet on a public dog where 86% of the cash is on them and the market's moving the other direction. It just,
I like the Falcons. Excuse me. I like the Falcons here a lot. First of all, again, they need one more win to get their over in the win total. I still need that. That'd be really nice. The real question is just whose defense do you trust more? And both these defenses are horrible, but I kind of trust the Falcons more.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And better running backs, give me the Falcons. Obviously, you can count Justin Fields as a running back as well, which obviously makes things interesting. But I think Mariota and Fields are close enough that it's just give me the Falcons. But this is tough. This is a tough game. You know, the 83% of the Titans is probably keeping me off of the Packers for my picks personally, but Falcons again might be another selection for me.
Sharpie's not scared. He wants the Bears here. He
likes Montgomery this week as well.
Yeah, and he's on Derrick Henry tonight. Look, this is a wildly interesting market. It's just so captivating that the Bears keep getting money and the market keeps moving to the Falcons. So, and as I just said, Heritage moved it to 3.5. So
it's going to be an interesting day for polls, Jimmy. It's going to be an interesting day for bulls. 72% on the Chicago Bears. 72%. So this is going to be interesting to see what number around do we get that cutoff point. Last week it was like 60%. Let's see where we get at this week. Maybe 75%. Who knows?
Wow. Okay. Oh, you tell me not to be nervous about our picks, and
then your hands immediately start sweating. My hands just stay sweating now, by the way, Jimmy. Helga hates it. My hands are always clammy. I'm just a fucking mess. There's not even baseball. I'm not even betting that much. I'm just sweating. Just sweating always.
Okay, let's move on to Cleveland Browns at Buffalo Bills, Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. This one has been wild. The total, I know we're not a total, it doesn't matter to us what the total is saying, but this total has fallen completely off. And I thought that it had fallen too much because, it's come back up. Okay, geez. So at 43, the total I knew was juiced to the under, but it's not going to snow at game time. It's supposed to stop snowing at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m., 3 a.m. Then it went down to 41, and I was like, I should bet it again. And I was like, no, sit the fuck down. You have enough money on this. Don't need to be put your balls on the table betting in. But it's back to 42.5. That makes me feel better. We have a sickness going through the Buffalo Bills right now. It's being widely talked about, and it's not as bad as it sounds.
Is it Josh Allen choking every time he has a clutch moment? Is that the sickness?
Well,
just choking at big moments?
Josh Allen now has turnovers in 8 of his last 9 games, 10 interceptions. It leads the league, 2 more than he had all of last year, 3 fumbles matching his total of last year. It's wild.
Jim Kelly must have given it to him.
I still think that the Buffalo Bills are the best football team in the NFL. So nothing has changed my mind. The losses they have are just wild storylines that are hard to believe. They're still the favorite to win the Super Bowl. Browns coming off an ugly 39-17 loss at Miami. Let's take a look at the cash here. I think that will help us. 58% of tickets, 65% of the cash on the Browns. So, Amari Cooper coming off a rough game after a spectacular one. Nick Chubb did not look good. The Browns were held to a season low 113 yards rushing. Myles Garrett was completely neutralized. This is a really tough one. I almost bet the Browns. I came so close to betting the Browns on Tuesday night, and I didn't. AJ says snowstorm in Buffalo. I'll check it again. But this snowstorm is supposed to end Sunday morning.
I'll tell you, Adam Schefter tweeted out like it's going to be thunder snow in Buffalo. So that's going to start whipping people up even more about the snow. I'll tell you that. I don't know what the fuck thunder snow is. Is it going to rain?
It's a beautiful sunny day on Sunday.
Wow, fucking Schefter.
So it's a beautiful sunny day, especially in the morning of. There's a chance of snow at 2 a.m. By 5 a.m., the sun comes out. It's partly cloudy. It's windy, but there's no snow at all day on Sunday until 11 p.m. at night.
Okay. So you know what? We've talked about snow for 2 minutes now. This is just an indication. Maybe this ain't our game, guys. Maybe we just stay off this one. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen? Obviously, you're giving the running back advantage to the Browns, and I'm going to love to see Nick Chubb running in the snow with no gloves. That's going to look very cool. It's going to look very, very cool. I hope, by the way, are the Browns going to wear white? What are they going to wear? How hard is that going to be able to see? Jesus, I don't know. So, yeah, it's just going to be looking for a little orange glows if you're Jacoby Brissett, who's already a shitty quarterback. So you're giving the ball to Nick Chubb to Chunt a lot this game, hopefully, if you're a Browns backer. And by the way, and Sharpie mentioned it too, fucking healthy as hell. Josh Allen looked pretty freaking healthy too. So maybe those deep throws weren't there, but he looked pretty okay. So I think it's just a stay-off game.
Yeah, there's 3 to 6 feet of snow, and the NFL's contingencies if the storm disrupts the game. But every single news channel says that it's done Saturday night. So
NFL just wants people to be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, snow game, yeah.
Look, I do not think this is going to be as memorable as everybody makes it sound. And who has the better running game if it's snowy and bad? It's the Browns.
Yeah, maybe I'm betting the over in this game, though. I was right there with you. I'm betting the over. I want to wait. Hopefully, people see the snow and they're like, "Oh God, just bet the under." And then I'm going to take the over.
I would take it now, man, because it dropped all the way down to 41, and it's come back to 42.5. And when I got it at 43, I was like, "Is it really going to drop more than that?" And obviously, that was a mistake, but I would bet it now. I don't think it goes lower than 42.5.
They're going to have the flamethrowers out for that shit too. They're going to burn that snow out, and I think the field will be playable, like fine.
I'm very curious to see what the chat has decided to do here. So I may bet it if they are on the Browns. Let's see it.
They are on the Browns. 65% on the Cleveland Browns. So again, we'll see how these numbers shake out. Maybe that's not a high percentage on our favorites or whatever, or our picks, but I like that pick. I don't hate it necessarily.
I think, Mike M, that this is a team that's rich in tradition of handling snow. And I think the field's going to be fine. It's going to be windy. They're going to be running. I think it's going to be fine. So, okay, let's roll on here. Nothing more here. But I'm interested in the Bills, interested in the Browns, although they have hit the public dog region. 58% of tickets, 65% of the cash. So, all right, let's roll on. Next up for us, Philadelphia Eagles, Indianapolis Colts, Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. We'll start with the line history here first. And we have, where is it? Here we go. This has moved to 7 in a bunch of books. It hasn't moved to 7 at Pinnacle. Pinnacle opened this up at 7.5, and it's been sitting at 6.5. It did get to minus 118, the 6.5 for the Eagles. From a total side of things, opened up at 44. It's now at 43.5, but it did hit 44.5. So there's, I guess I should stop talking about totals. Cash wise, here we have 10,919 tickets in, 54% of the tickets, 77% cash on the Colts. People believing in this change of energy that Jeff Saturday's brought. And then you have 36% of tickets, 43%. Oh, sorry. Stop talking about the total. So Eagles are on a short week. They have their 8-game winning streak snapped. It was an ugly 32-21 loss home to the Commanders. They had the ball for just 19 minutes of the game. Their defense looked very vulnerable. Oh, what's up?
No, sorry. My left hand was up.
Oh, yes. For the Commanders, left hand up.
Yeah, come on, dude. We know. Left hand up.
It's the worst the defense has looked all year. 9 of 12 on third down. The Washington was just easily running the ball down their throat, and a lot of people think Jonathan Taylor's going to be able to do the same thing. So the Sharps are on the Colts, and Matt Ryan looks reinvigorated. Sharpie says Eagles just signed Ndamukong Suh. Yeah, Ndamukong. Billy Frieder said the Eagles need to figure out how to stop the run before next week's game versus Green Bay. Dude, look, it's hard to imagine. I don't want either side here. I find this very, very difficult, but I'd be interested to hear what you have to say. Jose, take it away. Eagles, Colts.
I love the Eagles. See, now I liked Jeff Saturday and the Jeff Saturday and the Colts after seeing all that line movement and being like, oh boy, this is apparently going to be a Colts spot. And I was right there with you. I bet the Raiders on Tuesday thinking, Jeff Saturday, what the hell? No, but here's what Jeff Saturday did. It's a very simple thing. You put the better quarterback in, because I said from the start, Sam Ehlinger is fucking dog shit. Like, he was horrible college quarterback, never should have gotten an opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. But they needed something, and the coach was desperate. So they put in the better quarterback one. And Jeff Saturday, who I think knows a thing or two about offensive line play, just said, you know what, Quentin Nelson, you have been playing like dog shit this year. I'm just going to go ahead and get into this offensive line room and just fix you guys. I don't know what he did, but they played significantly better. So, and obviously Jonathan Taylor being back, that helps a lot too. So all that, I think, and they played the shitty Raiders. I think Josh McDaniels, by the way, I learned Josh McDaniels, his first 6 games as the coach of the Broncos, goes 6-0. And then the NFL comes down on him for filming practices, just like his fucking dad, Bill Belichick. No fucking wonder he was 6-0. He was horrible. He's a horrible coach. So I think the Eagles just come in here motivated. They slap the shit out of the Colts. A horrible, what did I say? Not a horrible. I would say a bad Colts team with a coach or a quarterback that can't move in Matty Ice. I think, well, he had a 46-yard rush. So, whatever. I put respect on his name. I just think the Eagles go out here and win this ball game at the end of the day. And stopping Jonathan Taylor will be the name of the game. And I think that big place play will be all over Mike Pittman. So I like the Eagles, and I might take them. But taking a road team at 6.5 is never an appealing process. So you can easily see why you're passing, but I just like the Eagles here. And it was a case of wanting to fade the Colts with Saturday last week, but the Raiders were not the team, obviously, to do it. I think this might be the team to do it. I think they just might beat the shit out of them, and then Jeff Saturday just restarts that clock.
I find it very difficult. I find it extremely difficult. You think it's all of a sudden a buy low spot on the Eagles, but the Sharps are on the Colts, and that's just this is beyond my pay grade, man. Let's see what the numbers.
What is your pay grade? Like, what do you manage on this? 57% on the Indianapolis Colts, so not going to be on our card most likely.
All right. I think that you should lead this next breakdown.
Fuck the Patriots. That's what we're going to start with this breakdown. Nasty Nate, I'm calling you out, Nasty Nate. I'm calling you out. Seamus Ignoramus, Kyle Hintlian, all you New Englanders, all you Patriots fans. This is the Rebenga spot. Rebenga right here. Now, does it concern me that Bill Belichick had to buy and prepare for a potentially shitty quarterback? Yes. Does it concern me that Bill Belichick hates the Jets and we hate him too? that old fuck? Yes. But we have the better football team. Our defense is better. We have a better quarterback, and I don't even think it's close. Mac Jones came into the season as the most overrated player in football. He is dog shit. He looks like Matt Ryan already. You want, in this league, Jimmy, in this league, in the NFL, you want a mobile quarterback. And guess what? Fucking Mac Jones is not. He's not mobile. If I took off my shirt and Mac Jones took off his shirt, our bodies would look the same. Just fucking bags of milk. Just mine a little more brown than his. He's bad. The Jets win this game outright, plus 3.5. I'm ready to get my feelings hurt again. And if Zach Wilson fumbles the bag here again, will I be out on him again? Yes. But he had his best career game against the Buffalo Bills, who apparently are not good. But I don't know. You just said they're the best team in football, so I'm going to stick with that for my narratives. Jets win.
This opened up at 4, and it's at 3.5 still at a few books. So we are given what? Where is the poll? We don't have the poll.
No, because I'm too emotional and too passionate. I wanted to talk about the Jets, but guess what? The poll is up.
So it's 3.5 here. I wondered if there would be a 3. At 3.5, the Jets have gone up as high as minus 122. I think you could have a feeling that this is going to be a field goal type game. The biggest stat here, of course, is that the Patriots have beaten Jose's New York Jets 13 straight times.
It fucking hurts. I couldn't tell you. I could not tell you the last time off the top of my head. My guess would be the playoff game when they beat fucking Brady. I don't know. I don't know when the last time the Jets beat the Patriots was. I really couldn't tell you. But again, fuck the Patriots.
Let's take a look at the cash flow on this one here.
Mark Inches?
9,621 tickets in. 60% of the tickets, 78% of the cash on the New England Patriots.
Good.
But it feels like this is going to be a field goal type game. I didn't move on it, but I do have Patriots with a question mark. I thought this was going to go down to 3. And there was a time where it was 3 at a bunch of books, but it is no longer there. It's 3 at Bet365 right now with the Patriots at minus 120. The Patriots coming in off a bye, they're a dangerous football team, and their defense is very good, and they're getting their starting center and captain David Andrews back. And they scored 26 points on the Colts, but they only put up 220 yards, and I think Mac Jones needs David Andrews.
I'll counter your David Andrews. Guess who the Jets just signed? Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, a fucking doctor who just finished his fucking medical degree shit and his practice and coming back. Who would you rather have on your team? A good center or a doctor? I'd rather have a doctor.
Okay.
You want to hear some stick stats? The Patriots are 18-4 against the Jets in Gillette Stadium. That's sick. Since that old rub and tug motherfucker Robert Kraft bought the Jets or bought the Patriots, 43-16. What an asshole.
Hey, he got off. He did not walk off, but he did not get.
Oh, he got off. All right. He got off.
He was not found guilty of any crime, Jose.
No crime.
No.
Just, crime of passion, maybe. Fuck.
No crime at all. There was no crime committed.
Jets plus 3.5. I'm going to win this game. I can't wait. You know what hurts me even more, Jimmy? Just to say this. Nick Folk was my childhood kicker. I love Nick Folk. Loved Nick Folk, kicker for the Jets for my fucking whole middle school year, high school years. Now he's the fucking breaking record on the Patriots. It makes me want to throw myself off a building. And if he kicks another game-winning field goal on the Jets, on top of Oklahoma State losing to Oklahoma, you will not see me Wednesday or Thursday on the Cappers contest because I will be a dead man.
Big Show wants to pass on this bum fight.
Well, it is a bum fight. I'll fucking tell you that. But
all right, let's see. I want to see what happens. I want to see the votes.
for the love of everyone you guys have me, bet on the Jets this week. We need it. 52% on the New York Jets. I'll take that because we don't get a poll victory very often. So I'll take that.
Sweaty Butcher says this is a prime Ravenga spot for Robert Saleh.
We need it. Jimmy, if the Jets win this game, there will be a Rabenga shirt on the Pub Sports Radio shop, and we will be selling the Rabenga shirts.
Okay, let's move on. Next on the board, Los Angeles Rams and New Orleans Saints, where the Caesar Superdome, New Orleans, Louisiana. Who at the beginning of the year would have thought that this was the worst garbage fire football game that would be played this week? It's just shocking what's happened to these two franchises. Let's start with the line history and go from there. Rams, Saints. We have these Rams open up at -3.5, a +1.3. They're still there. There's been no movement. From a total side of things, it opens up at it doesn't matter the total. Sorry, excuse me. And then when we go to the cash flow in this one, we have 36% of the tickets, 49% of the cash on the Saints. That makes sense to me here. The question always is, we were sitting here about Matthew Stafford. Will he be on the field? Let's see if we can get the last information. But
I think he cleared. Concussion protocol. I think he's playing. That's the line was 4, I believe, on Tuesday, dropped down to 3, and I'm assuming that is the line moving, which is kind of funny. You would think that the line would move a little more for Matthew Stafford, but
you are right. So he returned to practice. So he is ready to go. That's a big deal. But he's not completely cleared. He's got to go through today's practice. But I guess the idea is that's the first step. Have a practice. Nuclear says he's done on the Rams. Sharpie says under. I bet this under. I also bet the Rams team total under. And it doesn't bother me if Stafford's back here. I still
I wouldn't give me a fuck either. I wouldn't give a fuck. If Stafford's not the same without Cooper. We're going to see Detroit Lions Matthew Stafford come back.
But this is 3.5 at a lot of books, and they're giving us a 3 here. We know there's no Cooper Kupp, so Allen Robinson's got to step up. You know that Higbee is going to get a ton of opportunities here. And then from the Saints side of things, it's as ugly and horrific as you could possibly imagine. They've been so bad. The Steelers absolutely destroyed them in every single facet of the football game. And they've just gotten worse as the season's gone on. So I guess even without Cooper Kupp, I guess it's the Rams. I don't know. What would you do here, Jose?
I would also say I guess it's the Rams without Cooper Kupp. I'm never gonna put my money on Andy Dalton. I just can't do it. Name one good ginger quarterback in the NFL ever. Just can't do it. Can't do it. Facts are facts there. Facts are facts. She can't do it. Rams, just better squad at the end of the day, just better quarterback, just shitty game, though. Just absolute dumpster fire, and I will not be watching this game. And I hope this game does not get shown on NFL Red Zone. But yeah, it's to take the points with the bum fights, unless it's the Jets, like Sweaty Butcher is saying, for some reason.
Yeah, it's still 3.5 at a bunch of books. I'm really surprised they're offering it 3 here. I guess what they're saying is, if you want the Saints, we'll take your money that the Rams are going to cover.
60. Let's hold on. I don't want to say 62% on the New Orleans Saints there. So I don't believe that'll make our card, but a higher percentage than expected, to be honest.
We have some of my grandma, or if my aunt had, she'd be a lines in here. One I've never heard. If my grandma had wheels, she'd be a bike.
Yep.
I've not heard that one before. That's
Jimmy. Let me tell you, I live in Texas. It's very popular here amongst a certain demographic. Really? Very popular amongst a certain demographic here.
I've not heard that one. Okay, let's move on. Detroit Lions at New York Giants, MetLife Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. This is a very interesting one here. So let's start with the Lion history. here, and we have these Lions. A lot of sharps on these Lions this week. They opened up +3.5. They're now +3. This +3 also got up to a -112 as well. Let's take a look at the cash in this one. We have 39% of tickets, 64% of cash on the Lions. Sharps are on. The Detroit Lions are coming off their second straight win, 31-30 at Chicago. Back-to-back wins for the first time since October 2020. Snap a 13-game road winless streak. They had lost 13 straight. Are they going to win 2 in a row? Swift does not look good, does not look healthy. But when you break down stats, like the Lions are 30th in the league in yards per carry, right? But the Giants are worse. They're tied for last at 5.4 yards per carry allowed. You know, if you look at different stats, the Detroit is 5th in yards per play offensively. Giants are 25th. Detroit is 5th in red zone offense, while the Giants are 20th. Like, I don't know if I can fade the New York Giants here, but I can understand what stats these sharps are looking at. What do you think here, Jose?
I have no feel on this game. Absolutely none. The Lions got their first road win and fucking God knows when last week, and they had to yank it so far out of their ass. Like, pull it so far deep. So I'd probably lean Giants here. Sharpie with a great comment here saying this is an easiest spot on the board. Giants win by 10 plus. Lions worst defense in the league in total yards, points allowed, third down percentage. How can you bet on the Lions? It's a good point. And I saw a good, I don't know if it's a trend, comment, whatever you want to call it, but teams lose, or all the teams that played on Thanksgiving lost the week before. Lions, obviously, they play every week or every year on Thanksgiving, so maybe they're a little bit more used to it, et cetera, but they're used to also losing on Thanksgiving every year. So I kind of like the Giants here. I'm a little surprised it's this cheap for the Giants, truthfully. Just record-wise, what are the Giants, like 8-1, 9-1? What are they now?
The New York Giants right now are 7-2 and 4-1 at home.
7-2, and the Lions are like what, like 3-7?
3-6.
3-6. So yeah, I mean, you just on the face of it right there, like you 7-2, 3-6 team, a 3-point favorite at home. You're like,
it's okay, a red flag. It's got to be a red flag.
Yeah.
Now, I can understand a capper like Sharpie having no fear and trusting what he sees and what he studies. I get it. That's the only way you can go into this game. You have to go into this game going, this is ridiculous. This is the best bet on. But you have to have that kind of a confidence in it, because when I see a 7-2 team that's 4-1 at home going up against a team that's lost 13 of their last 14 on the road and they're only a 3-point favorite, it's an immediate red flag for me. And if I can't find a way to get on the dog, I stay off of it.
I fucking love the Lions, but yeah, I'm going Giants here. Maybe Vanilla Vic fucks them up here. Maybe that's the thing that's being indicated by the line. Vanilla Vic just not there, and Jared Goff figures himself out and has a nice game. So, yeah, I just can't get there. Sharpie asking, what are the Giants against the spread this year record? I mean,
aren't they up there? Like, are they with Tennessee at 7-2?
They've got to be great, right? Yeah. So I would agree with all the comments here. If you just give me the face value, guess the lines kind of thing, I would have guessed 6.5, 7. 3 is weird. So I pass here ultimately. The poll, let's complete the poll. 70. Hold on, let me end it because it always changes a little bit. 70% on the New York Giants. There, 70%. Wow. So, I mean, again, like face value makes sense. So sometimes it's just best not to overcomplicate things. So, and Johnny Gunn's mentioning the Giants are frauds in his opinion. I would agree. They're probably not as good as their record says. That's facts. But Detroit Lions going to be the ones to expose them.
Wild. It's absolutely wild. All right, let's move on. Carolina Panthers, Baltimore Ravens, M&T Bank Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland, 41 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 13 miles per hour. We'll start with the line history in this one. There hasn't been much movement. Opened up at 13, still at 13. I'm a little surprised that it's 13.5. It is 13.5, right, in our voting? pull this up here.
Yes.
I'm a little surprised. I'm a little surprised that it's 13.5. I don't see. Is there any books laying up?
Sharpie asking good questions as well. The YouTube poll finishes at 70-29. Don't know how that's happened, but it's a good point. That's a good point, Sharpie.
I guess Bookmaker and BetChris have a 13.5, but that's juiced to minus 119. It's like they're. Oh, says Carolina, New York Giants on this one.
Well, I've got my mind on the Giants then. Let me fix it real quick.
No problem. No problem.
Boom. There we go. Carolina, Baltimore.
All right.
We'll never forget our other poll fiasco. I forgot what the teams were again. But we had to revote, and then that got them on the card. I think
it was the Bills game. Well, I thought it was crazy to me. It was such a.
It was against the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what happens when you fade the Jets, I guess.
Panthers coming off extra rest and prep. What we've seen in the last 3 games they played is an easy win over the Buccaneers at home, an easy win over the Falcons at home, and then being down 35-0 at the half on the road against the Bengals. Why wouldn't the Ravens do the same thing to the Panthers that the Bengals did to them? Baker Mayfield will be starting.
Oh, my God. I didn't know that.
Yes, Baker Mayfield will be starting. Dante Jackson tore his Achilles tendon in the fourth quarter, so he is out and done. Let's take a look at the cash flow here. We have 50-50 on the tickets, but 61% of the cash on the Panthers. Ravens come in rested off their bye week. I mean, they were last seen in a 27-13 win at New Orleans. That actually looks worse now that we've seen who the New Orleans Saints really are. But this is a team that's getting healthier. We don't know how healthy they're going to be at this point. We know there's going to be no Rashad Bateman. We know there's going to be no Dobbins. They're both on IR, but Gus Edwards is expected to be back, and we don't know about Andrews. He's knee and shoulder issues, but their defense has gotten much stronger. Tyson Bowser made his season debut against the Saints, the Achilles injury. Their second-round pick, David Ojabo, he's making a season debut here. Marcus Williams is going to come back soon. This team's just going to get better and better. They've allowed 24 or fewer points in each of their last 5 games. But do you want them as 13.5-point favorites? I don't. Do you, Jose?
Baker Mayfield fucking stinks. He is horrible. And like Sharpie's saying, worse than PJ Walker by the numbers. It's almost Dallas Keuchel-esque as he's cinching as well. I'm never going to back Baker Mayfield. I thought he was overrated in college. I thought it was a joke that he was the number 1 pick. He should thank his lucky stars every day that he had Lincoln Riley to be his coach. It's just the line is just so gigantic. And I've made such good money this year betting on the underdogs and these big spreads, just taking the points blindly. But I've just no fucking chance am I going to do it with Baker Mayfield. I can't do it. I think Mark Andrews plays because I think he's kind of a badass and I think he'll play. And, Lamar, I think this is one of those games where he can put up his numbies for his contract because we all know that's kind of in the back of his mind lingering and kind of needs numbers to get them the money, right? So I would assume that they have a nice day today too. So do I love taking 13.5? No, but side by side, I'm leaning, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with this game. I won't give up on it. Try to find an angle, but at this point, I don't want anything to do with it. Let's see what happens with the poll. Let's pop it up.
The poll, lovely poll, 64% on the Carolina Panthers.
So we have one more 1:00 game, and then I'd like to go over where we stand with our top 5 after the 1:00 games. All right. Sharpie says, man, I almost want to start being a bookie this weekend so I can take bets versus Baker. Let's move on to the final game of the 1 p.m. card, Washington Commanders, Houston Texans. This one's wildly interesting. The Texans open up at 3.5, and they don't last there long. When Pinnacle dropped it was just a minus 120, got up to minus 127, and then back to 3 at even money. Andy Maltor got in on the Texans plus 3.5 on our Tuesday night show. And, I find it wild. Let's just take a look at the cash flow. The Sharps, as always, are on the Houston Texans. 40% of the tickets and 85% of the cash. It's just fascinating that we would see the Washington Commanders with their biggest win of the year, stop the undefeated Eagles, run the ball down their throat. Now, they had a lot of fortuitous bounces and a lot of things went their way. And still, to think that they can't follow that up by going into Houston, who's not won at home this year, has won one game this year, that they couldn't beat them too is wild. And when this happens, I don't go against it. I don't sit there and say, oh, these guys are idiots. But it's interesting that they're giving us 3.5 here, and it's got to be 3 everywhere. Let me just double check this. I imagine this is 3 everywhere. This is 3 right across the board everywhere. Why is Circa giving us the 3.5? It sucks that they're giving us 3.5. They shouldn't be. It's stupid. So I don't know. Jose, take it away. What do you think here? Commanders, Texans.
Those haters can't stand us, Jimmy. Those haters cannot stand us. My left hand is always up. Who are we? The Commanders. I love the Commanders here. I'm not going to put them on my card personally because I can hear your voice echoing in the back of my head, telling me not to buy high on a team or whatever it is.
That's right.
I don't want to take them here. It's a weird line too, as well. I thought this might be closer to the Vegas zone of 5.5 to 6.5, truthfully, because I think the Texans are that bad at times. But I backed the Texans at points earlier in the year and made money when Davis Mills was looking more competent. The NFC and the AFC beast, man, I just got to 2 good divisions. So I lean towards the left hands up, but I don't want to get there at the end of the day. This is truly a game I'm not going to watch. And I'm glad, by the way, I'm very glad that Ron Rivera was a smart man, even though Carson Wentz allegedly healthy coming off IR. Taylor Heineke going to stay as our quarterback, just better quarterback. Just objectively, it doesn't take fucking an expert to see that. So Kakami's lean here, but I don't know if I'm going to get there.
Follow Sound saying, rivalries are weird. I can't get the rest of the comment because here we go. I'll get it here. Eagles, we're going to lose sooner or later. Look, I cashed on Washington. I wanted Washington to win that game, but this is wild.
That song's stuck in my head right now, Jimmy. That's all I can think about. It's a fucking bop. Have you listened to it?
Yeah, you want to drop a couple bars?
No, I don't. No. That'd be tough. It'd be a tough look for me. But no, the haters can't stand us still. It's a great song. I love it.
Let's see. I'm very interested to see the voting here. Very interested.
I know the Washington Stadium name just because of the song now. RFK, shout out to that. 60% on the Washington Commanders.
Follow Sound says this game is trash. Let's move on. Oh, so we finished all the 1 p.m. games. I want to hear where the voting is. Can you let us know? Can you give us the top 5?
Yes, let me see as I am sorting these in my head. If I was a smart, sophisticated fucking person, I'd have a spreadsheet that would organize these in some form of beautiful fashion, but I do it all by hand. So first, we've got our Tennessee Titans, 83%, Chicago, 72%, the New York Giants at 70%, Cleveland Browns at 65%, and right now we have Carolina at 64%. Right behind Carolina, 62 for New Orleans and 60 for the Commanders there. So 64% right now, that bar.
All right, that's the bar. Let's get into afternoon action. We start with the Las Vegas Raiders at Denver Broncos. On a side note, Broncos unders have hit 8 of 9 games. The one game it didn't hit was this matchup here. And I don't like thinking about the house's money in a year-long battle against the books, but I did go back to the well with the under, and I'm not sure if that was the right thing to do. Let's talk about the line history here first and foremost, though, in this Raiders-Broncos spot. We have the Broncos opening up -2.5, and that's where they are. Actually, being a 3-cent move towards the Raiders, but it did get to 3. There was a lot of opportunities for it to be at 3, and in fact, this line was only out for 2 minutes before Pinnacle moved it to 3. It was a juice 2.5, but it was 2 minutes before they moved it to 3. So Raiders coming off their Thursday loss, they look as bad as any team could possibly look. And let's take a look at the cash flow and see if it supports the look on the It's a complete coin flip here. 50-50 are the tickets, 54% of cash on these Raiders. To sit back and expect the Raiders to bounce back is very tough. Carr crying on the podium. I don't know how anybody could back them here.
You guys didn't like that. I think that's been mentioned on one show I've been on every day this week so far. It's been really funny. I didn't watch it. I didn't see it happen, but you guys
I watched it. I watched it. I mean, you want to be you're trying to be a leader of men, and I just don't know if that's the way to do it. You, with no conviction, just sitting up there. Crying after a loss?
Was it a cry like Terrell Owens? That's my quarterback, or was it like a excuse me? I can't finish.
Oh yeah, it was the Oscar. It was what you're taught in theater school. Like they never want to see you cry, so you always have to do your best to not cry. Right? That's how you're taught in theater school. That's what he did. It was.
I'll cry right now, Jimmy. I'll cry right now for us.
Sob right now.
Okay, well, look at my eyes right now, Jimmy. They're going to start bawling here in a second.
We're going to need more than that, though. I want sobs and whimpers.
Well, I'm thinking about Derek Carr's performance, and it just really fucking breaks me up, And then thinking about Jalen Hurts, just, oh, God, in that Oklahoma uniform, it burns me up, and it hurts me. It really does, and I can't do it. It makes me sad, and one day we'll be able to hit 66% against the spread. See, I'm really good. I'll cry, guys. I'll fucking cry.
That was so well done, dude. That was fucking spectacular. Broncos come in off the 17-10 loss at Tennessee. They've lost 5 of their last 6. Those 5 losses have come by a combined 21 points. This offense just can't be trusted. The running game can't do anything. The offense was 4 of 17 on third down. Also, my whole angle was that Graham Glasgow was coming back, and that Lloyd Cushenberry had been Pro Football Focus has ranked him just horrific numbers at center. I was like, oh, this is going to help them. And then Luke Wattenberg comes in because Graham Glasgow hurts his shoulder. Luke Wattenberg had played 1 snap all year, and now he's Russell Wilson's center.
Sure.
And this is just a horrific.
I won't wipe these tears. I refuse to wipe away the tears.
Don't wipe them. Don't wipe them.
Oh, no, they're gonna stay here. I'm taking the Broncos here if I have to pick a game, but I'm gonna cry again thinking about watching this fucking disaster of a game. 2 disappointing teams and what should have been the best division in football and baseball. Shout out to G, by the way, popping up when we start talking about the Raiders. But I hope Mark Davis can just find some fucking money to keep this team because he's gonna be down bad here soon.
I got to find out if Graham Glasgow has a chance because I mean, if you're sitting there with a rookie center for Russell for an already anemic offense, and
all these guys have sounded like Madden creative players too. These guys all fucking stink.
Let me just get a quick injury update because I don't think we can take the Broncos here. No, that was last year. No.
By the way, I'll say this: Helga fucking hates when I make myself cry like this. I fucking do it all the time with Helga. It's fucking great.
It's perfect. What a gift.
It's great.
Okay, so it's not as bad as they thought. Glasgow here because day to day. So I bet you he's back in the lineup. He's got to be. They're screwed if he's not. That's a big turning point. Let's see if we are in here.
Banana and Grapes believes in fucking Russell Wilson. I won't get a Kleenex. I refuse.
No, don't.
I simply won't. No. 60. This is going to be borderline. Let me finish the poll before I quote it. 66% on the Denver Broncos. We riding with Russell Wilson this week, and that is going to be as of right now our new 5th place participant.
Wow. I don't. I guess I just would rather watch you cry than that football game. Let's move on to 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Dallas Cowboys, Minnesota Vikings, US Bank Stadium, Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's very similar to the Giants game, where you have a 4-0 team at home going up against a 2-2 team on the road, and yet this line is wild with the 2-2 team on the road as 1.5 point favorites. Let's take a look at the line history here in this one. We have it opening up with it's really not changed since the opener. The Dallas opened at -1 at -117. It's now -1 at -121, which is basically -1.5. We go over to the cash flow in this one. We have 46% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the Dallas Cowboys. So the sharps are on the Cowboys. They're favorites here. It depends on how you look at this game. And this is the part that I talked about with some statistics in the Giants-Lions game. And I know that there's other statistics that just tell you the Lions are the worst defense in the league, and that's all valid. But some statistics tell you that, they tell you that the Lions have much better offense than the Giants and then have some better things going on defensively. But here, do you believe that this secondary that the Dallas or that Minnesota has is so atrocious that they can't possibly keep winning? They lose Cameron Dantzler, he goes on IR, and then their 4th-round pick, Caleb Evans, replaces him, and he's in concussion protocol. They're 29th in opponent's yards per pass attempt. They're 28th in opponent yards per play. They're 31st in red zone defense. Do you believe in those numbers, or do you sit back and say, this Vikings team has an enormous amount of heart? They know how to win football games, and they do whatever it takes to get the W and get the job done. It's up to you. We have our guy, Rez Mob. Rez Mob is paying his mortgage with the Vikings. Look, I don't – it's very difficult. I'd love to hear your take on all of this.
Shout out to, I think it was Johnny Guns, by the way, who mentioned this guy. Honestly, I would rather bet this game with Cooper Rush at quarterback, a ginger quarterback who we forgot to mention. Shout out to Brandon Wheaton as well. I just don't think Dak Prescott has been a good passer. Just has not been there. And we talked about the shitty cornerbacks, but if your quarterback ain't good enough to get you the ball, then it doesn't matter. CeeDee Lamb, I'm sure, will have a nice game, and Michael Gallup might have a nice game as well, but I just don't trust Dak Prescott enough to get me there. So I'm leaning Vikings here with Kirko Chains. I can't even say that correctly. Kirko Chains, Kirk Cousins here. I don't know. It's that Minnesota magic, I guess. Shout out to Clint, who's been sipping the Gatorade all year about the Vikings. He's got Vikings futures to win the World Super Bowl. I was going to say World Series. Do I still think they're going to Super Bowl team? No, but the ride's fun, and you got to keep riding it. So I lean Vikings here. I don't trust Dak Prescott enough, honestly.
I'm a Sharpie. I took the over. I didn't get 47. I wish I did. I did get 47.5, which is where it is right now. Look, this is what makes gambling so much fun. And I prefer to sit on the sidelines and watch Jose cry. What's the final outcome here?
Jimmy G, by the way, Jimmy G and Dak Prescott, like the same quarterback in my head right now, just the same quarterback. Basically an even split here, 53% on the Dallas Cowboys here. So 53%. I might end up making the Vikings on my card, but I don't know yet.
Our Big Show Picks, who's 10-0 over the last 2 weeks, he says this is the toughest week of the year. All right, let's move on to our next game, 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Bengals at Pittsburgh Steelers. There's Nasty Nate in the house.
Nasty Nate, I hope you rewind and watch the Jets-Patriots voting poll.
Sharpie's right. Jimmy G's better than that because he took a pay cut.
That is facts. Well, he hasn't gotten paid yet. He hasn't gotten paid that big money contract yet, so we'll see. But I would also agree, just contract-wise, yeah.
So this was the only side I bet on Tuesday. It's the only side on my card. I have 7 totals. On one side, I did move on the Steelers at +4.5. It's moved to 4 here in the contest. Let's take a look at the line history in this one. Just 2 games after this, and then we put a bow on this. Opened up at 4.5. You can still get the 4.5. It's juiced. That Pinnacle is juiced to -119. From the cash flow side of things, I mean, is it a surprise that the Sharps are on Pittsburgh? They've been on Pittsburgh all year. 57% of the tickets are on Pittsburgh and 95% of the cash. I mean, that's just wild. Huge bet put on Pittsburgh. It's only moved to 4. Bengals come in fresh off their bye week. We last saw them absolutely annihilate the Panthers. And their cornerback situation is in dire straits. It doesn't matter. They're coming off the bye. Chidobe Awuzie is on IR. They need Mike Hilton and Trey Flowers back. They've been hurt. They didn't play last out. And then the other angle that I'm sure Steeler backers are talking about is you have Lyle Collins at right tackle for Cincinnati, and he's been so bad this year. And now he looks up and sees TJ Watt. This is the largest spread in Bengals history in which they've been favorites in Pittsburgh. And the Steelers looked really good against the terrible Saints team. And they believe in themselves. There's a chance, supposedly, that Minkah Fitzpatrick will be back, but they need Miles Jack back. But their defense with TJ Watt is enough. It takes a lot of pressure off of Alex Highsmith. This one
made me cry, by the way, Jimmy. I just want to let you know that.
Oh no! Now,
it made me cry. Yeah, it made me cry.
Oh no!
It made me cry. Yeah, no, look at me. I'm crying again. Look. Here we go again. Thanks, Nasty Nate. Fuck the Patriots.
All right, let's go back to this spot here, though. Bengals Steelers. What do you think? What do you like?
Oh man, no, I'm on the Steelers too. I'll probably end up making them a contest play. I was on them last week. TJ Watt. Hey, turns out it makes a fucking difference. It makes a big difference. And Lyle Collins. I remember him getting signed and talking all that shit. And he's like, yeah, it was gonna be a great offensive line. I think that the Steelers end up coming out. They could win this game outright. No Jamar Chase still obviously hurts the Bungles. And I think we'll see Joe Burrow on his ass a lot this week. So I kind of like the Steelers at +4. It's just like Sharpie and everyone's saying here, Banana and Grapes mentioning the huge difference with Watt, Sharpie saying the bad offensive line. At the end of the day, Kenny Pickett might not be great, but I would much rather him go against the Bengals defense, which Trey Hendricks, he's good, but no one else on that defense really scares me. I mean, no one else on that defense is a standout player. Collectively, they're a good to decent unit, but yeah, give me the Steelers here.
Well, I have not voted on any of these, but there's been a couple spots where I thought, maybe I should vote just to push something in the right direction. Thank God I voted here. Jesus, this is a shock.
A shock to the system. Let's end the poll. 57% on the Cincinnati Bengals there. 57%.
Wow. Just wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, at least it doesn't make our card. Thank God I voted. I don't think it would matter if I hadn't voted. All right, let's move on. The Sunday Nighter, you can see right here. We will be live betting it. Sharpie in the chat will be joining me on the screen. Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Chiefs coming off a 27-17 win at home over the Jags. Let's take a look at the line history here. We have a 5.5 point line. Wow. So a big move to the Chargers. I didn't realize that it happened. Wow. This crazy. I don't know why. I'm in a Yahoo pool where you have to make a pick on every game. Yeah.
You said something else very interesting today as well. I forgot what it was, but you just said it, and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck word that is.
Good.
Yahoo.
We're in a Yahoo pool, and you have to make a pick in every game. And I get really pissed off when the lines come out and they're different than what we get. It makes no sense. I don't get pissed off in this league wide one, but we do a playoff pool where he sets the line, and the guy who runs the pool, and I'm like, why are we doing this? This is stupid. You're giving us a line that's not what. And now this is the second spot on the board, or is it a third? That Circa's doing the same thing. 5.5. It's not Vegas 5.5 anywhere. There's not one spot. Not in the sixes. There's a 6.5, and they're giving us a 5.5.
I think so. You think that maybe Circa's gonna got their feelers out there, and like Johnny Guns is saying, maybe Keenan Allen must be playing, and is Keenan Allen really worth that move?
That's an interesting point. Maybe, that's a really interesting point. I don't know, but I don't like it. They should be giving us what's available in the market on a Thursday. So
I like the Chiefs here. I mean, I've been fading the Chargers all year. I mean, it's not really like purposely, but I just feel like Chargers have just been kind of spotty team. Coach that you have made me hate, I guess, just made me turn on. He's got tennis bets in there, and maybe he wants to watch tennis. I don't know.
he does. But
Maybe.
the sharps are on the Chargers, 56% of the tickets, 76% of the cash. Do you want to go up against the sharps? This is Chiefs or no bet. I find that the Chiefs get on the road and sometimes like making statements. And this is a team that's played them so hard over the last couple of years. Why wouldn't they want to go out there and make a statement?
And let's be honest, Chiefs Kingdom travels, and it's vast, and there's going to be a fuckload of Chiefs fans at this game. This is essentially going to be a Chiefs home game, truthfully. New Worker mentioning the Chargers covered in Kansas City, and you're right. I mean, was that the game that Burrow fucking ripped his ribs too? I think that was the game as well, and he had to pull that last throw with the broken ribs out of his ass as well. So, I mean, they play him tough. They play him tough for sure, and I'm leaning again towards the Chiefs, and I'm really debating whether I want to make them a contest pick. And shout out to Sharpie again, who mentioned that Clyde Edwards-Helaire just out of the running back pool, just gone. Like first round pick down the drain. You never use a first round pick on a running back example there. Now it's going to be mostly McKinnon and my guy Isaiah Pacheco. Only reason he's my guy is because Pacheco, Hispanic-ish standing last name. So shout out to him.
And Sharpie's right. Juju Smith in concussion protocol. We don't know if he's going to play.
I'll be shocked if he plays. He got fucking crushed. He had a case of the Tuas when he got knocked the fuck out. He was absolutely folded up. So I would be a little surprised as well.
McCole Hardman was inactive. He needed 5 touchdowns past 3 games. But like Sharpie says, with Kelsey, you can plug and play any wide receiver. The Chiefs are first half -3, -120. I mean, that just hearing that makes me want to bet it. But I know better. But I don't know. It's just wild.
Yeah. And Sharpie, another Sharpie comment here saying this is a statement game. Remember, he's got Charger bolts in his head, guys. So listen to this, man. Chargers the only team in the division who can press for the division. Chargers always play them well, cover 3 to 4 ATS, D-line fishing for spots or 4 starters. And he's saying that's the spot, Jimmy, first half. So first half, Chiefs, full game Chargers. So, yeah, this is ultimately a pass game for our purposes, though, it seems like. And for the poll, oh, baby, the poll looks like we have another person or another team in our 5, the Kansas City Chiefs, 80% on the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be fun.
Do you think that – I wonder if that Keenan Allen is going to be in and I could wait and get a better number?
By the way, again, the polls, for some reason, 80 and 19%, just that 1%, that missing 1% somewhere.
All right, let's move on to the final game on the board. San Francisco 49ers, Arizona Cardinals, Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. We have been, I guess Jose would know better than me, but what we've been told is that huge amount of 49er fans down there. And
why would I know better than you?
Because you live very close. You live very close to Mexico. Arizona Cardinals fans, I guess.
God.
Very few Hispanic Arizona Cardinals fans.
Yeah, when you said that on Tuesday, I was shocked. I was like, "What? Really? I have no fucking idea. Really, I have no idea. I assume all these people down here, all my cousins, are Dallas Cowboys fans. But I honestly, I don't think it's going to be like a rabid fan base. It's just going to be like in Germany. Whatever happens, there's just going to be cheers. Like a field goal, punts, yeah. It's going to be one of those kind of environments, I think.
it feels like San Francisco still has a lot of figuring out to do. Their defense was very strong and got them the victory over the Chargers, but they didn't look very good offensively with all of their weapons, especially at running back. I mean, the McCaffrey Elijah Mitchell 1-2 punch is so deadly. But we have 57% of tickets, 60% of cash on the 49ers here, so that doesn't really help. We're sitting at 8.
Wish this was a 7.
This opened up with the Niners minus 7.5. They're at 8.5 at some books. Let's just take a look at all of these offshores here. I guess no, they're at 8 everywhere. The 8.5 is minus 115 if you want the 8.5 with Arizona. You know, I still have a lot to learn about the Niners, and with the Cardinals, we have no idea if it's going to be Colt McCoy or Kyler Murray. Do we have any late information on that one?
Nothing still. I'm sure Cliff's going to play that close to the vest, but I don't know if he's even been practicing, but it's just been hamstring still. And truthfully, I think we see Colt, which would be hilarious.
Zach Ertz is done for the season, and we talked about the enigma of Cliff Kingsbury on our Tuesday night Gridiron Gamblers show. He's the only coach in the history of the league since the start of the Super Bowl to have an outright winning record as an underdog and an outright losing record when his team is favored.
Very cool. Very cool.
Well, I mean, he's just.
What are the records? What are the number records like?
I could pull him up, but that just means he's a complete untrustworthy ass clown.
Well, look at him. Would you trust him with your daughter? No.
But I mean, that's just those stats. Those stats don't like. He's not going to have a job next year, and are they in big trouble here in Mexico City? What are your thoughts here?
I disagree. I think he coaches. I think they have to play. He got his extension. He's got to just ride that shit out. So I think it'll be funny. Man. First of all, he is a shitty coach. I wholeheartedly. He's not shitty. He's just always been mediocre. Everywhere he goes, he's just been mediocre. Or Texas Tech, that 2 seconds he was at USC, the guard is just mediocre. Everything has just been mediocre. And obviously his job is to make the quarterbacks good and make the offenses good. And I can't really shit talk him and say that he's not done that. He won a game with Colt McCoy, the All-American Colt McCoy, which I get shocked every time I hear Colt McCoy is still playing football. So I think Shanny's just a better coach. I don't trust Cliff on an international trip to Mexico. I don't trust him at all. Cliff's the kind of guy that would drink the water from Mexico and just be like, oh, we're fine. And then he'll just, during the game, end up in the fucking toilets with the shits all night. So I ultimately like the Niners here. I've been bang Niners gang all year. But the 8 is shocking. It's not shocking. It's just annoying. Like I want a 7.5. 8 makes me question things, but I kind of do like the 49ers.
Yeah, it's a lot of points. I'm curious. Let's see if it hits the board.
And good Ewing theory candidate, by the way, for Kyler Murray as well. The poll, let's see here. By the way, cutting Benjamin, questionable. 61% on the San Francisco 49ers not making our card.
All right. As always, if you don't mind, Jose, I'd like you to go from 7th.
Sure. Give me hot seconds so I can write down the spreads, but I do have the teams and their percentages. So 7th is the Carolina Panthers at 64%. So, and by the way, shout out to us. Usually our cards are laden with favorites. This week, not the case. Not the case this week. We love the underdogs this week. So shout out to Carolina the Panthers, yes, at plus 13.5 there. We had next the Cleveland Browns, which I'm trying to find you, the plus 8. So, yeah, like I mentioned, we love the underdogs this week.
What was the percent?
65%.
Okay.
So it was close. It was absolutely close. Our top 5 here. We are a part of Broncos Nation this week. We are riding with Russell Wilson, minus 2.5 at 66%. We have the New York Football Giants -3, 70%. Chicago Bears +3 at 72%. The Chiefs, I have that +5.5, but it's actually -5.5 at 80%. And I'll be sending this to Jeff ASAP because we have the Tennessee Titans tonight +3.5, 83% there.
We need a winning week. I know it doesn't sound like we are, doing really that well, but what we've done is we put ourselves within striking distance, where all we need to do is have, two very, very good weeks, and we are in business. Where can I find exactly what place we're in? Did you say if I go?
I will look for it. Jimmy, I just asked for you one time. Could you give the percentages for the Thursday night game?
Yes, I can here. For tonight's action, it's not helpful. 44% of the tickets are on the Packers and 52% of the cash. So you have slightly bigger bets coming in on Green Bay. And clearly, it's moved from 1.5 to 3.5. So that's a really big swing over a key number. I expect the Titans' money to come flowing in. And that's the reason why they moved it to 3.5 was to get Titans' money.
Interesting. So, Pub Sports tied for 1,005th, 50 picks in. That is 27, 21, and 2.
Wait, sorry, say that again. We are in what place?
1,005. 1,005th, tied for it.
And we are 27, 21, and 2. And what is it? The top, what percent makes money again? I can't remember.
I do not know, but I just grimaced because I did the scrolling up to see what place I would be individually if I was in the circuit contest to see I have 33.5 points. If I had 33.5 points, I'd be tied for 26th, which sounds fucking crazy to say out loud.
Oh, that would be incredible. How exciting would that be? That would be imagine that. Imagine that.
That is terrifying to see. But Jim, you've exploited this out of me. I've told people this many times. I am a mental midget. I fold up, I cry, I'm not good under pressure. My career stat line of 1 run in high school baseball indicates that as much. So me leading for this long is a shock, and I can be caught because the weeks are getting tougher, like Big Show is saying. So
the top 100 get paid. The top 100 get paid. If you finished in 26th, they'll let us know later. They just show us 11 to 100 are splitting 1.3 million. What is the 100th place at right now?
100th place. Let's see. Where are you? 100. So I can get you tied for 103rd because it's tied for 82 and tied for 103rd. 31.5 points. That is 30. Well,
3.5 ahead of us.
Yeah, so not that much. It's 30, 17 and 3, 31, 18 and 1, around there.
80 tied for 82nd is
tied for 82nd is 32. Yeah.
Okay. We're right in this thing, man.
Yeah, we're not far off. Like we've said, we can pull a Big Show, 2 5-0s back to we're right in there. Even 1 5-0, we're within touching distance of the money. And I can say the same thing for you guys in the Cappers contest. If I go 5-0 in the Cappers contest, I'll fucking wrap this thing.
Actually, Jose, can you say it? And can we close the show with you saying it while crying?
Saying what? What we need a 5-0?
Yeah.
Guys. I've never wanted something as bad as I want this 5-0. I lay up every day at night and I think 5-0. How can I go 5-0? How can we on the pub sports community go 5-0? And I think about it, and when I think about it, it breaks me up because I want it bad more than anything. And if we can do this, I might be able to make rent this month, and I might be able to keep a roof over my family's head because we need it. And if we don't, this show is not relevant. And we need it bad. We need it bad. That's how you feel.